So in this edition of the Wood Channel, I wanted to visit the Atlanta Botanical Garden because I understood that they had two of the most beautiful specimens of dogwood trees in all of Atlanta. Now, this facility is world class. The gardens are absolutely stunningly beautiful. And in this episode, I'm going to walk you through the garden and we're going to find that Constellation Dogwood.
Hey, this is Jeff and welcome back to the Wood Channel. And today we're here at the Atlanta Botanical Garden, one of my favorite places to call home away from home. Every year in Atlanta, we have what they call the Dogwood Festival. The Dogwood Festival is attended by literally thousands of people from all around the world. That festival is based around a tree or a species of tree that we're going to talk about in this particular episode. Now, if you ever have the chance to come to Atlanta, I invite you to the garden to come see all the varieties of plants that they have here. It's a great place to meet and greet others who have a similar interest in horticultural, flowers and plants, and just nature in general. It's a great place to spend some time. So in this particular episode, we're going to be in search of the dogwood tree, in particular, the Constellation Dogwood. The Constellation Dogwood was actually a tree that was engineered, if you could say, or a hybrid version of the flowering dogwood at Rutgers University in New Jersey. And in this episode, we're going to find out what those people at Rutgers University came up with for their... So like any good scavenger hunt, you got to know where you're going. So we're like right about here. And we've got to go up to here. This is where we're going to find our Constellation Dogwood. So now we're on the mission. So we're still in search of the Constellation Dogwood. And by all accounts, the dogwood is somewhere near the children's garden. So you got to go to the children's garden, then to the trustee's garden, and then on to the garden house, where we might have lunch in search of the Constellation Dogwood. So if you hear... Identifying plants isn't always easy, so I rely on a mobile app I call Plant ID. Here's how it works. Click. It's gonna run its little diagnostic tool right here. Get out of here, plane. That's the problem with these gardens in the city. Analyzing the image, detecting the leaves, identifying the plant. The oak leaf hydrangea. That's not the Constellation Dogwood. Okay, so guess who found the Constellation Dogwood? Nisha, the wife. Oh, she's so proud of herself. We have found the Constellation Dogwood, and it is right here. Constellation Dogwood. Now, if you want to know how to identify a dogwood, it's real easy. The young trees have very smooth-looking, grayish, spotted type of trunk. On a more mature tree, it's going to have more of a rhino-like textured type of gray trunk. But at any rate, they don't get very big. They're not much larger than, say, a plum tree. So you're not getting ready to make a big table out of a dogwood tree. But did you know where the name dogwood actually came from? Well, there's two schools of thought. The first school of thought is the bark on the dogwood tree was used and boiled down as a tea and used to treat mange on dogs. First thought. Now, scientists can't always agree on exactly where the name came from, so there's a second school of thought. And the second school of thought is that it came from the English word dag, D-A-G, which was a little peg that they used in order to skewer meat on. You know, basically, it was a hibachi tool during the Middle Ages, or was it during the English ages? But at any rate, it was nothing more than a twig or a stick. Over time, dag became dog. Very much. You should also know that Virginia and Missouri both call the dogwood tree its state tree. This is a great specimen if you have a short shrub type of environment going on the ground and maybe a high canopy tree growing like an oak or a sweet gum. This tree is the middle ground. Now, there is a religious historical idea that says the reason why the flowering dogwood doesn't get as big as it does is because it was actually the wood that was used to build the cross for the crucifixion of Christ. And because of that, this tree was relegated to being something not much bigger than this. And that's the story of how the flowering dogwood and its variant, the Constellation Dogwood, got to be this size. Now, it's not going to be one of those big hunking trees in your landscape. It's a very beautiful specimen if you like a low, moderately tall type of tree. And guess what? When the leaves hit the ground, these leaves have some of the best micronutrients of any tree species anywhere. So if you mix it in with compost into your compost bin, by the spring, you're gonna have some of the most nutrient-rich compost ever invented by nature, right from the dogwood tree. Now, another thing you might wanna know about the flowering dogwood is that the wood is very hard. On the Jinky scale, it's hard. And what I mean by hard is that historically, the dogwood's wood has been used in the creation of things like golf club heads from the 1400s. That's right, wooden golf heads from the 1400s forged through the efforts of the dogwood tree. In addition to that, it was used for pegs on covered wagons in the manufacturing of wagons when we rode around on horses out in the middle of nowhere. You might have also found the dogwood's parts being used in applications that required a lot of friction, where wood would actually rub together, such as a weaver's loom. This wood would be used in the production of clothes during the 1800s. So it has tremendous applications. Now, propagating the dogwood tree is easier than you might think. Okay, if you go down to where the stem actually meets up with this little branch right here, you can actually pull this piece off here, just below this part of the branch here, and you stick this in some soil, or stick it in a planting soil designed specifically for propagating plants, and leave it near a window, not too bright of sun, but keep it moist. And over a period of a couple of weeks, you're gonna actually have roots coming out of the bottom of this stem. So they're fairly easy to propagate, but you really got to pay attention to what you're doing. If you know of any other ways of doing it, let me know. I'm open to ideas. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this episode. And if you're looking to get a flowering dogwood, you can have one. All you got to do is type in the comments, dogwood. Remind me of the episode that you saw it on, and I'll have you one sent out to you for a $10 donation, of course. But it'll be in your box. Thanks for enjoying us here on the Wood Channel. I've been your host, Jeff Packer, and I hope you've had as much fun out in nature as I have.